EMC is an advanced floral education program designed with your busy lifestyle in mind.
The goal of EMC is to understand the floral design process. It's not by just putting some flowers together, it's why do you put them together, or what is the interaction between the materials and the botanicals to create a final outcome.
It's more than just learning how to arrange flowers in a vase. There's so much more to it than that. And if a florist, a designer, already has a lot of experience and wants the challenge of really stretching themselves creatively, this is definitely the thing for them to do.
The advanced course builds on the foundation course, which is organized throughout parts of the world. And in addition to that, with the foundation course, you get the online self-practicum that will take you through 6 to 8 months to implement everything that you learned in foundations.
You have to know the elements and principles, you have to know the rules, you have to know how it works. Everything what we learn, the rules, well, we can break them. You can't break rules before you know them. So in the advanced part, we go deeper. We said, you know what, with the line arrangements, we've got 5 line arrangements, we've got 5 proportions. Well, let's start combining. Let's compose your own song as a designer. You've got the elements, you've got the notes. Well, now it's up to you to just play your own song.
I think I had lost the ability to actually design for myself. And EMC actually brought out a lot of my ideas and helped me learn to bring out my own creativity. So that's what's really important to me.
During the course, we go to Paris to steal like an artist. We go to Louvre and we're going to learn from the best. The best painters all over the world, the best sculptors all over the world are collected in the Louvre. Let's learn from them, how they do, how they combine, how they interact with their mediums. Those guys, they knew how to do it.
Why choose EMC? Well, you're going to get the certification that you want along with the education that you need. After graduating EMC, you will have the skills and the mindset to take your designs to the next level.
它会是我的一个头衔，对，它会就是别人也会认可我在花艺上面。
To be a successful designer, to be a successful floral designer, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
在这几天的话，我们学到了很多，可能这个的话会在我未来的一个花艺的道路上会有一个很好的一个支撑的作用。
Hello everybody, it is the last Thursday. That means that we go online, that we're gonna, well, analyze. And in this episode, or in this video, we're gonna analyze the work made by branches, but also made by 80% of carnations. And that was a challenge. And I have something special for you because we did not only invite Laura, who is the winner, but we also have an expert on this panel, and his name is Johan Buys. He's one of the, let us say, he's one of the biggest, and he's really like an expert in growing Dianthus. So I'm so looking forward to learn and to hear the insight and the tricks how to deal with Dianthus, and also how to, well, maybe process them in the best way. So I first are gonna join, I let Keith in. Keith is, I'm gonna put you on the right, here you are, and this is Keith. Hello Keith, how are you?
Good, how are you, Tomas?
Okay, can you put your volume a little bit louder, is that possible?
Let's see.
Yes, because we are looking forward to hear you. Is it better? If you,
I'm not sure.
yeah, it's better. I can hear you.
Better.
Yes, great. Okay. Well, in short, because I see Laura is waiting, but also Johan is waiting. So in short, Keith is the man. Keith is a EMC coach. So that means he went through the process. He knows what's happening within the process of the growing process to be a designer. So welcome, Keith. So what we're going to do together, we're going to analyze the work between the two of us, and we are so looking forward to meet Laura and Johan. But if that is okay with you, Keith, is maybe we should first ask Johan, the grower, the Dianthus grower, to join us and to ask a little bit. Okay, Johan, and I'm gonna put a picture from him. This is Johan Buys. So we're gonna ask him a little bit to enlighten us about the carnations. Would that work for you?
Perfect.
Okay, super. Okay, I'm gonna add Johan on it. So normally Johan should be here.
Yes.
Yes, but
see him.
it's really dark in Holland because we only see like black. Can you maybe is your camera on, Johan? Maybe it's off.
Now I see nothing anymore, but
So
just heard you.
okay. Well, in the meantime, I'm gonna tell a little bit about the assignment. So the assignment was, like I said, is like the challenge, and I'm gonna put you a little bit, or I can put you over here, Johan, that we all see, right? Would that work as well? We can do it as well here, Johan, as long we have, we can hear you. Okay, before we continue, Johan, just can you introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and why the passion for Dianthus? Are you still with us, Johan? I think we lost Johan. Oh, here he is. Super. That's the man. Okay, great. Welcome. Do you hear me, Johan? Yeah, we have like, I see you're in the glass house. Okay, if you want to have some minutes just to set up, we can go to Laura if you want. Okay. Do you hear me, Johan? It's a little, we don't hear you. Can you say something?
I don't think you can hear us either.
No. You know what? I'm gonna ask Laura to join, and then if Johan is ready, do you hear me, Johan?
Huh? Right?
Okay. So I'm gonna add Laura. In the meantime, Johan is setting. This is okay. So let's go to Laura. Johan, if you're ready, give me a sign. Give me a thumb that you said I'm ready, and then we go back to you. Laura, welcome. Welcome, first of all, like,
Hello, nice to
and
meet you here.
yeah, you're the winner. Okay, a big applause for Laura. Yes. So, well, what did you think? Because the most people voted for you. Isn't that a cool kind of sensation?
Wow, it's a wow sensation, I must say. Especially because I have this free ticket, because I intended to buy a ticket to be there for all this event. And an idea came to me, and I said, let's try first to win this contest, then I will buy it if not.
Yeah.
But I'm the lucky one.
When there is a will, there's a way. This is like an expression. I don't know if it's a Dutch expression. I don't know if it's the same in English, but that for sure. So that, well, that really worked. Yes, you got a free ticket, but later on we're going to talk a little bit more about that free ticket. I'm going back to Johan. Johan, do you hear me? Johan? I think you might. Do you hear me, Johan? Okay. Do you hear me, Johan?
Ja, maar ik hoor niks.
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you. So,
Ja, maar ja.
I think your headphones are off, or Johan?
Ik hoor
I
niks.
can hear you guys. Well, we can all hear you. So be careful what you say. Okay. I'm gonna. Okay. Well, let's go back to Laura. Let's go back. Okay, Laura. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put up your three arrangements.
Huh?
Back to Johan. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to show you the three arrangements, and I have to say they are beautiful.
Thank you very much.
And maybe give us a little bit. Well, what was your inspiration? What about the colors? What about the different Dianthus caryophyllus?
I must say, we in Romania, we don't use Dianthus very often because it's a specific flower for funerals. I don't know if in other countries happen this, but in Romania, yes, it's specific for funerals. So not many people want it in the bouquet or some arrangement. So I order in Holland Dianthus, 3 types of Dianthus, especially for this challenge. So I use this structure. I have it in my workshop because we are doing such structures for bouquet, for special bouquet, to have it here. This structure was symmetrical, I must say, and this is the challenge to transform it into an asymmetrical arrangement. So I can show you the structure in order to become more interesting. So this is the structure. It's handmade by us here. It's from wire, technical wire, and some decorative wire, cover paper, in fact, wire. But on this side is symmetrical, and
I think we lost you. Okay. Okay. Well, what we see indeed, the backside is symmetrical because it has a shape, form, and shape, and on the other side, which is cool, is you have a totally asymmetrical shape. Isn't that cool, Keith?
Yeah, and I didn't realize that it was different on both sides. So that really adds a lot of visual interest to it.
Yeah. And the visual interest, oh, there we go. It's, see, this is life. Everything can happen. I really hope you don't leave me here, Keith, that I'm doing the live session on my own. Oh, by the way, Johan is joining again. Let's hope we're going to add him on the right. Hi, Johan, do you hear me?
Yeah, now I see you.
Super, okay, welcome.
Welcome, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what was happening. There was no connection.
Well, the one is coming, the one is going, the one is coming, and so on. But whatever, we have you on screen. So, well, first of all, thank you for being here, because we are looking forward to hear more about the carnations, the Dianthus, Caryophyllus, and Barbatus.
Yes.
Already, what we heard from Laura, that was like a statement. She said, "You know what? I'm from Romania, and those Dianthus, they are actually not so popular because they are linked so much to the 1st of November, to All Saints, and so on." But here in Europe, and then here in Europe, I speak about Belgium, and I speak about Holland and France, and so on. The Dianthus is like in Scandinavia, is more often used for any occasion, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think now for 6-7 years you see more increasing popularity of using carnations, and that's in the late 70s carnations were popular, and in total home decoration and industry you see that the years from the 70s are becoming more popular, and carnations is coming with that also. And in these days, carnations is good value for money. They're not the most expensive flowers, and they last long, and they are in a very wide range of varieties and colors and shapes, and all kinds of possibilities to use. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits of the carnations at the moment.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do remember when I was younger and I was working with carnations. It was, you had the yellow ones, the white ones, and the red ones, and that was it, right? And then,
that's right.
Well, it was not really a sexy flower. I have to say that. But what happens, and I think you guys was one of the first, you start to come up with amazing color palettes. Like amazing colors, but also not one color, but you added more colors, big color, 3 color, and you start, come up. And as a designer, working with colors, that's really important for us. That is like, and if you say also the impact, the visual impact, it's a nice, beautiful, decorative flower.
Yeah. Well, I remember we in 2008 we were the first to introduce the Viper wine. It's carnations. A lot of designers now like to use, but at that days when we wanted to introduce it, everybody said, "Well, that's no red, it's no pink, it's nothing, and it's not a good color. It's never going to be a success." And I think now it's one of the favorite carnations from the designers and florists.
Yeah.
That's and that's already been past 2008, so that's quite a long time. And, but it's well a rather difficult carnation to grow, so it will never be very, very huge carnations like easy grow red or white varieties. But that makes it also special.
Yeah, it is. Well,
but you see,
sorry, Johan. Sorry.
Yeah, you see often that strange color special varieties are more difficult to grow than the common colors.
Yeah.
A special color needs also a special treat.
Yeah. Well, let's see how we make, like, there's an evolution in colors and textures, and this is the designers, they always want to see something new or that they can implement in their ideas. And the more tools we have, the more different colors, textures, shapes, forms, because you don't have only like the Caryophyllus, you also have the Barbatus, right? And you have the spray carnation and so on and so on. So you have so many possibilities in the world of Dianthus, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you say Barbatus is another family line in the Dianthus, so that's a totally different grown and crop than the Caryophyllus. And in Caryophyllus you have the standard and the spray and the sparks and the Solomeo line. And then in the Barbatus you have the green trick, then that's the round green fluffy ball. And nowadays you have them also in red and with flowers, no flowers. So that's yeah, all kind of ways to use is possible.
Yeah. Can you give us some tips or tricks how to deal with Dianthus if you buy them? What should I do?
Carnations are always are the same as all the flowers, fond of water. So when you get them dry, take the below 2 to 3 centimeters of the stem, so you can easily suck up water. And one of the main and the most important things for carnations is don't store them in the near between of the in close by ripening fruits. Ethylene is killing for carnations. There are we use it and some other growers use it also. There is a ethylene blocker you can put into the water, so the carnations are more protected against ethylene. That gives increases the phase lives around 20%. But there are countries where that kind of protection is not allowed by rules. Because the leftover of the liquid you have to collect it in a special way, so that's not coming into the environment. And some countries like Colombia or Spain, Italy, Africa, there are it's not allowed to use it. So Dutch carnations in that way are good protected against ethylene. Yeah, that's the main thing for carnations. Don't keep them in a cool store where also are fruits, or when you give them customers information, tell them that also, because it will decrease phase life with several days when they're in the neighborhood of fruits.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a good tip. Another tip is like, is it true that if you cut them in the nuts, they are not able to drink as much as water if you just cut them in the stem?
Yeah, when they are more open, good carnations has a phase life between 10 to 14 days, and when they're good in cool chain, you will not last a lot of days at the end. So when in the period from grower till florist, then they're stored at 2 till 4 degrees. Then you don't lose any days at the end. But when they are a little bit more open, they're a little bit more fragile during transport. But when they are harvested, you hardly see the color. Then they are very difficult to get open. So we minimum harvest them at 2 centimeters of showing color for the standard carnations. The spray carnations are harvested a little bit closer. But when you do it, when you say too closed flower, then they won't get open.
So that's a good tip. So don't buy flowers, don't buy carnations who are still closed.
Yeah, and you can always check carnations if they're fresh to squeeze a little bit in the flower, in the green leaves below the flower, and when they are still firm, then it's fresh carnations. But when you squeeze in it and it's very soft and you have the feeling there is nothing in anymore, then there are already very old carnations. And sometimes they are not open, really close, but they're very fluffy. Then yeah, they're a long way on transport already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's you as florist you can do that as final check. Just squeeze a little bit in the flower, and then you know your fresh or old flowers.
That's a good tip, isn't it, Keith?
It's great to know.
Yeah. Any questions, Keith? Or now we have the expert on the screen. So
I think my question is, maybe not a question, maybe a statement. I love Dianthus, but here in the States, it's become not only for consumers but for florists. It's become kind of um, let's say, it's considered a cheap flower, and consumers don't want to buy it, and florists tend to not want to buy it. I think it's with the new varieties, it's fantastic,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
think
I
that
just think
I've heard more that more in the States. In America, you have a lot of. I think 99% of the carnations come from Colombia, and Colombia did well last 20 years mainly red, white, and the pink varieties in different shapes, and then you have a little less other colors. And now we also cooperation with a Colombian breeder, and you see that they have more connection now with the Italian breeders in the Sanremo region in Italy. That's the how do you say birth chamber of carnations in worldwide, and they're coming the special shapes and colors. And now you see that Colombia is cooperating more with the Italian region. You see coming more colors and different shapes from Colombia. But it's still difficult there to get more specialties from Colombia, because they have another way of selling. They're just selling more color and not a name. So when you have a mixed box, then sometimes there are special things in, but most they are filled mainly with red, white, yellow, pink, and orange
Yeah,
colors.
yeah, yeah.
But when you are getting more interesting things in the box, you are getting more curious and curious for more carnations.
yeah. I mean, I like seeing the antique colors, and I saw some different carnations at Florimore 2 years ago that I wasn't sure if they were natural or if they'd been dyed, but they're
Yeah, there
interesting
are
enough that I was
the moon colors, moon aqua, and they are genetic manipulated colors, and they can only be grown in the Colombia. In Europe, we may not grow them. So, and that are yeah, kind of lavender purple colors. But you see now more and more colors close to that, which from Oorsprong are or from origin are natural breed colors.
And then what? How do you see the future of carnations?
I think they're going to be more exclusive in the upcoming years, because when you see the average age of growers, they're getting higher and higher, and carnations is rather intensive about labor, and especially in high peaks in production periods, and that's nowadays difficult to find people for well 1, 2, 3 months working very hard, and then a long period nothing. And then what you see is the age of a lot of growers, and that's in Spain, Italy, Holland, Japan, and Colombia also. You hear already a little bit, and that the age of the growers is I think, getting the most biggest problem for the availability for carnations in the future.
So this is a call out to who wants to be a carnation grower. That's the moment. Contact Johan, right?
Yeah, well, last year in Kenya, we saw a rose grower who switched back from roses to carnations.
Okay.
So, and
So
that will only be happening when the prices are okay. Otherwise, they won't leave the roses.
yeah, and okay, that's a perspective from a grower. The perspective from a designer. What can we expect for the future of the Dianthus? Different colors, bigger shapes, smaller shapes, or I don't know. What do you have in mind for the future?
I'm looking for more fingered types of flowers.
Which kind of flowers?
yeah, finger types. Oh, I'll walk to it. I have
Okay.
one big picture. Last year, the most carnations were round petaled, and now we have back a carnation who has more.
Oh yeah.
See?
Okay. Yeah.
And that kind of flowers was out of production because they are a little bit more fragile during transport. But I believe the breeders are able to create new varieties who are firmer, and better resistant during transport.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the nature kind of colors, skin kind of colors that are, we're still looking for better varieties in that kind of types of colors.
Yeah. And how do you find, because if you want to come up with new colors, where do you find those colors? Are you following some trend companies or?
Now, we're cooperation with 7 breeders from Spain, Italy, Colombia, Kenya, and Holland. And every year we plant 80 varieties, just 20, 25, 40 cuttings. And then this year we have planted 84, and there are crossings from 2016. And they have now a few cuttings to try the new colors, and so we can see how it's growing, how is the labor need, how is the resistance about diseases, how's the production, all those kind of things. And at the end, of course, we see the color, and then we decide, or the trend is it right at the moment to introduce that color, and that all kind of factors will make us to introduce. And then like Viper wine we did in 2008 already, and now it's a big variety, but we have also introduced colors we're already gone from the market, color not wanted or production too low at the end. So all kind of things we can happen. But I think in the nature and the pastel colors there are and dark orange, brown types, there are special things to come.
Yeah, because 2022 brown tints and shades will be hot. That is for sure, because nature, like greens, shades of greens, shades of browns, or even oranges. Yeah, that's a hot topic. Yeah.
Johan,
Because also our production period is from August till November, so we always in autumn production, and then orange types of colors and are always wanted.
Yes, you just link yourself to the season. Okay,
Yeah.
Keith, you had a question as well?
Yeah, I'm curious, Johan, is it possible for growers to have a larger head standard carnation?
I know Colombia breeder has some lines now in his crossings. It's getting bigger and bigger. But the problem is when you have more petals and a bigger flower, they're also getting more dedicated during transport, and the green, how to call calc leaves. Flower leaves, the green on the bottom will split easier when the flower is very big. But also in the growing conditions, there is something to win to get a little bit bigger flowers.
Okay, good. I think it's like, well, we have to move on to the next one. To Laura again. Johan, I really would like to say thank you very much for sharing your insights. Thank you for being live with us. And
welcome.
You know, we are definitely passionate designers to work with Dianthus, believe us. So, and let's hope for the future that it becomes more and more.
I just do a quick walk in our greenhouse. Now we have
oh, cool, yeah. Sure.
All types of carnations now, but we have planted 1.5 months ago the first, and 2 weeks last. So you can see there are are growing, and at the end of July we will first cut apple tea. That's the quickest grower carnation. So I hope wedding season is going very quick off.
That's wow. And how many are there? How many plants?
We have planted 16, well, almost 100,000 cuttings.
Wow.
And we have 24 varieties in production and 80 varieties, a little bit more, in to trial. And that's most of the time from those 80 varieties, we introduce 5 to 10 new varieties every year.
Wow. Wow. Cool.
So,
Okay. So Keith, if it is okay with you, we're gonna say thank you to Johan, and then we go
thank
to
you
Laura.
for inviting.
Okay, Johan, thank you very much. Keep in touch.
And we will, and very good business, and have a very nice summer, and I hope everybody will have nice marriage weddings to decorate.
With lots of Dianthus.
Okay, we go.
Okay, super.
Thank you.
Thanks, Johan.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. So that was cool, wasn't it, Keith?
Yeah.
Just to get some information how it works. So that was cool. Let's go back to Laura. I'm gonna ask Laura to come in again. So I'm gonna put that one. Laura, if you're ready, you're welcome to join us. I'm gonna put again the pictures on the front. So Laura, if you hear me, I see you are in the guest room, but you are off. So just come up, and we're gonna let you in. So in here, what we see, we see what Laura already said. Is one side is asymmetric, the other side is symmetric. That was a cool idea. So I'm gonna add Laura on. Yes, here we are. Okay, good. Once again. Welcome again. Okay, well, we were talking with Johan about working with carnations, and you just told us like carnations is not so popular in the kind of like the way that we use every day. It's more related to All Saints, but there is a change going on, isn't it? Maybe not in Romania, but when I was in Romania, I didn't have that impression that people say, oh no carnations, because carnations is connected to the dead people. So am I wrong, or would that make sense to you? I think we can't hear you, so I think you have to, your speaker is off. Okay, so it should work.
Maybe without the headphones.
Oh, you can hear us? That's good.
Still can't hear you.
No, we can't hear, and we can't hear you. So, did I do something wrong? No, you're off. Okay. Well, in the meantime, you know what we're gonna do, Keith? Let's analyze a bit that arrangement. You know what? What we're gonna do is like, let's find out what are the strong points of this arrangement. Would that be? So I'm gonna put up the color wheel. And let's do it like this. I'm going to put that one away. And let's start. Let's start with what happens. So we already talked about the symmetric and asymmetric design. Asymmetric is, well, you know, it's always stronger, isn't it? It has more, right?
Yeah, it has more interest to it.
Yeah. Laura is joining again, so maybe we can do it together with Laura. Like I'm going to add you to the left. Okay, Laura, do you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. So Keith and I, we just gonna analyze your arrangement according to the elements and principles of design, and in this way, we're gonna find out why your arrangement is so well done. So what are the strengths and what are the beautiful parts and the parts that looks stunning in that arrangement? So the first thing we already said, well, Keith said, there is more tension because you create something asymmetrical. Of course, that was the task, but if you create something asymmetrical, what we do, we just compare, and then there is more tension because the left and the right is not equal. So there's a kind of tension. So let's go on. So in here, what we, as we'll see, it's we have different options in the expressions. It's definitely decorative, right? But why did you add those grasses?
The grasses was also the leaves of carnations.
Okay.
So, being the main flower in the bouquet, I thought this is a good idea to put them there.
Yeah, but the question is more from designer to designer, right? Now you said, okay, there are also carnation leaves, but how did you put them and why did you put them in such a way? Because I see they're like jumping out, right? So you create volume, or what was the idea?
The idea was to create a 3D arrangement, not to have a flat bouquet, to create tension and make more interesting all the thing.
Yeah.
If you look especially at the every flower, and then you look up to this small and fine leaves, it is more beautiful, I think.
Yeah. Well, the question is always like, okay, what is more beautiful, right? Because
for me, it was.
Well, yes, well, apparently for a lot of people. But and here, and this is what we just say as well in the EMC course, as you know, right? You are adding that green as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like Keen and I were thinking, okay, you create a certain kind of vegetative aspect to it, meaning your Dianthus is very decorative, very controlled, and then you do some playful kind of natural inspired grasses, and that was the feeling that, okay, look, it's joyful, it's natural, right? And also what happens over here is like, if we talk about the silhouette, is like you create negative space. So that means the visual impact you create with an arrangement is bigger, because between your grasses there is empty air, but it's not because it's empty that it doesn't kind of help the visual impact or help the form and the shape. Are you agree with me, Keith, in that one, or?
I do. I mean, it makes it a less closed shape. It makes it a little more open, and it gives it more movement, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yes, and also that, like, for me, it's like there should be always a connection between the container, well, in this case, your construction, and the flowers. And what I see a little bit, so the construction goes radial, and your grasses, so it's kind of a repetition. The grasses are helping to lift up the construction is actually helping to lift up your arrangement. Was that an idea from you, Laura, or?
The idea was to play with symmetrical and asymmetrical, because initially this structure was symmetrical. So I wanted to make a little bit difference to make it
I lost you. To make it what? Okay, I think we lost Laura. Okay. But actually what we were telling Keith was a little bit about the line arrangement. Okay, the floral line arrangement, that was a bit radial. And then the mechanics and the construction, you also can see the radial line arrangement in. So there was a connection. So give me a sign, Laura. Put your hand up or whatever if you are online again. So that's really cool. And then if you go back to the proportion, what is cool is like I kind of proportion horizontal, because all the flowers are almost on the same level, and that's really cool to see that. Also, we have an impression about the growing point, Keith, right? The growing point is
multiple.
Sorry?
multiple growing points. She's
Yeah,
got different things coming from different places. Even the branches that are out of the container from the side.
Yeah, I'm gonna add. Okay. Yes. Okay, Laura. So we were telling in here, we were talking about how you place the flowers, and Keith was telling, we have several, you place them in several ways, without one growing point, but it looks they have one growing point because everything is radial. But the cool thing is, like, actually they don't, because you put the branches in, so you just plate with a kind of a visually wise one growing point, but actually you didn't. So there also, that's a strong point that you can. It's not misleading persons, like it's like a magician. He's not misleading person because he knows the tricks, but we know the tricks how you did it. So it's always nice to look behind the scenes of how somebody is making the arrangements. And then, okay, we go for the color harmony. You know what? Well, say it yourself, Laura. What is the color harmony in here?
It's passive.
It's, well, you know what? Well, is it passive? Because if you look at the colors, if we go to the color wheel, you see. I'm gonna put that one away over here. As you can see, we have purples, and we go totally on the other side of the color wheel. We have yellows, we have greens, there are so many strong colors. So I would definitely say it's active, because passive is more like much more pastel. Go into the center of the color wheel, and they are very feminine. You can't say the colors are very pastel or feminine, right?
In fact, there were pastel colors, but I think the picture is not the same as in reality.
Okay.
That's why I said pastel.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Yeah. We didn't see it in real. We don't. We only analyze on the screen. But that's definitely possible. But like also what you did here is you played with opposites, right, Keith? With colors.
Yes.
Yes.
Different sides of the wheel.
Yeah.
So you're really playing with those colors.
Yeah. And you know what? It's like, it's almost the opposite. It's not the yellow side, and then you have the purple side, and everything between the purples and the yellows, and that's why your color palette makes sense, definitely. And then put the model with the yellow or the pastel yellow on the back. That makes it even stronger. So that was a really cool way to do it. And as you can see, the background also has a big influence on your arrangement. So I would say the picture really fits. Also, what I would like to say as well, that you divided the flowers on different places, different spots. That makes sense. The only thing is, like, my question, and I'm gonna put it a little bit bigger here. There is one flower on top that is that a clematis, just on her hair.
Yes,
why did you put that? Yes, clematis. Okay, why did you put that flower so high? Is that a reason?
I like it to put it so high to be playful.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to be flat, this bouquet.
Yeah.
Initially, I made it flat, and then I didn't like it, so I said, let's be some more playful.
Yeah. So adding the lighter and adding like that more transparent feeling. So we were talking about the silhouette. So transparency, you can create transparency within the silhouette. The silhouette is actually the form and the shape, but once we said it already, you made it even more bigger and more transparent and more feminine. Okay, good. Keith, do you have any questions?
No, I think this was really stunning. I'm really curious about the construction. Was this something that you had made before? Is this?
Yes.
And so I really am interested in the fact that you had a design and you started working with altering it to make it something else, because I think that that's really a good evolution as a designer, to be able to continually create something new out of something we already know. So I applaud you on that.
Yeah, I created these structures for my workshop because if someone come to me and said, "Hey, I want quickly a very different bouquet," I have these structures, and I can show it to you. This is what we have here, and we made this with wool
Wow.
also.
Yeah.
And we have this in our shop, and we use it for clients to be more quickly because this takes 4 hours to make such a structure.
But that's smart to make it in advance and also to play with
Yeah.
different materials with the same techniques. So
Yeah.
now you're realizing, okay, I can make the same thing, but it can have a totally different look, different feel, different color.
Yes, and it can be, now I realized that it can be symmetrical and also asymmetrical because it's made of wire and you can put it anyway.
Yeah. Can you enlighten us a little bit about how did you put the flowers into your construction? It's like, did you put them on the vase? Did you put them on water tubes? Whatever.
In water tubes. I have water tubes in this fan.
Okay. So, how did you fix the water tubes?
With hot glue.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. And did you put a top part on it and you put the flowers or just open?
No, they are not open. They have a top.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's the name, but the water tubes have tops.
Okay. Okay. Cool. That's you know what, that's great. And this is something I'm gonna back to this one here. This is what you already told. You were already happy about joining the EMC Go Live event. So what we actually do is in here, and that's your free ticket. So congratulations on this one here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're most welcome, because this is what we are looking for. We are looking for persons that are conscious creatives and they want to level themselves up to the next stage. So we have amazing people, like amazing presentations. We have florists, we have designers, we have people from the floral industry, we have growers, we have photographers, and so on, who will share their insight to become even more creative. So we are so happy to give you that free ticket. And from the listeners, if you are here, well, you know what, we're gonna invite you. Please go and visit our website. You are most welcome. And well, to join us, and you will see this is actually an event not to miss. That is for sure. Up to you, Keith. Do you want to say something to Laura before we continue?
I just wanted to congratulate you again on winning this month and also on the ticket. I think it's going to be a great experience for you and for me and for anyone who joins us. So I hope that everyone comes to join us and find out what it's all about.
That's cool.
Thank you.
Well, Laura, once again, you did great. Thank you for being on the live session. Thank you for sharing your ideas and how you put it together. And we are looking forward to welcome you on the EMC Go Live event.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Super.
Good to see you.
See you, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.